want to thank Cooter 3000 or whatever your name was for your comment. Hoo-ha.
Cooter 3000.
Whatever the other part was.
Change your name to Cooter 3000,
your comment,
please.
to hate it so much that you were willing to take the time to comment on it was great.
That is great.
I mean, hey, obviously it resonated. And you're probably still thinking about that time that was taken from you, and I'm proud that we were able to do that.
And maybe you were reaching out because there's something on your mind and you need to talk about.
Yeah,
that's okay. We're here for you.
Hey, hoo-ha. Talk to us.
No.
What?
Cooter 3000.
Cooter 3000. You have a new name. Cooter, if you're listening, we are here for you.
Welcome back to Just Weirdly Blended. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tom.
And I'm tired, dude. It hit me before we started. I was like, fuck. We went to the gym this morning.
Right.
I did not want to go. It was rough.
Yeah. Morning is not my favorite time to work out. I'm not a morning workout.
So I had I got these drinks, these El Jimadores or something. Bebidas. They're called bebidas. One of my techs, she showed me, they come in a 12-pack, and they're like, you tried it. You took a sip of it yesterday, the grapefruit one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep.
And so, man, I don't know if
I was very confused, and then you mentioned last night. I thought, okay.
Yeah, I had two, but I think it made me feel like
groggy or something.
Yeah, like this morning I felt like gross, like if I drank a lot.
Is it maybe very acidic?
Maybe that, or just the fact that I don't really drink anymore. So like,
yeah,
that I hit that ceiling like 2 is just like, oh God,
yeah,
I'm too much. I gotta go to sleep.
Alcohol will do that to you.
But
yeah,
I don't know. I just woke up early, like at 5, and I just laid there. I'm like, oh my God, just go back to sleep, motherfucker.
Yeah,
that's the worst.
Yeah, we were. So we took that little trip out of town the other day. Blanca found a dog on Facebook or something.
Yeah, I
thought in town. It's a bulldog, so I was thinking like in town.
She's cute.
I don't know why. I've been adamant that we're not going to take any more dogs.
You fell in love, huh?
Not even really. I didn't even see the dog. She just said something about a girl bulldog, and I was like, well, did you reach out to her? I don't know why. I don't know what it was. But anyway, so the gal did get back. They were in LaConner, Washington, which is almost in Bellingham, which if you know the state at all, almost as far away from us as you can get.
You might as well be Canadian.
So Thursday night, Cheeky had her birthday, so we came for that. And then I had the car ready to go. We were going to use the Mitsubishi as a little camper. Worked out really well, actually.
Yeah, Blanca said that.
Yeah, we just took our, we have one of those memory foam mattresses on top of our mattress in bed. I just folded that in half, shoved it in the back. All the seats were down. I fit okay. It was pretty nice. So we drove out to, if you are in the Seattle area, there's a Tinkham Road that is all free camping along this, like, I don't know if it's like a logging road or what it is.
It probably is a logging.
But it's a very just rustic road. Close enough to the freeway that you can hear the freeway traffic. So it's like really not far off.
So it sounds like the ocean?
Yeah. At first I'm like, what is that noise? But yeah, so we got out there, and my thought was like, I could have kept driving, but I'm like, I don't really know where else is free to park or stay. You can always do like a Walmart parking lot or something, but that just feels weird. You got all the lights and like some of those towns on the west side, I don't think I want to be sleeping in a.
And you got the homeless folk that are out in the parking lot.
Hey, you got any money? Like, no.
So anytime we've gone, the last couple times we've gone to Utah, we drive all the way through. I like to take off early or at night. I just like, you know what? Let's just go, because I don't want to take off butt ass early and get there late. I'd rather arrive early-ish. But yeah, we pulled over again into a rest stop. And I cannot sleep in those things.
Even on this road, because we basically just pulled off on the side of the road. I've been watching too many of those serial killer type shows. I had a little baseball bat that Elliot had, like a little aluminum baseball bat, just in case. But every time a car would start driving, I'm like, this is too late to be pulling in here. What do you want? It was a little paranoid.
Why you wake my slumber?
I just kind of felt like, this is like the place where some guy would be like living in the area, would know people park there and like would, come out and murder us.
You look outside your window at night and you
So-
just see these eyes looking at you.
I know. I think I had a dream that happened.
How
when I
creepy
was
would that
out
be,
there. I'd be. Get away!
Just stupid little bat.
Hey.
Why don't you carry your gun with you?
I don't know. It's
I
just
would.
so much responsibility. Like if I, you know, like I don't know.
I would for peace of mind.
I have my concealed carry license. I could legally do it. I just am like, I don't know. If I shoot somebody, then it's an investigation and all that.
But you're alive.
But yeah, I know. But I'd rather be dead than deal with that, you know?
I'd rather be dead than
I would sacrifice myself for Blanca to not have to deal with that, you know?
Then she would have to deal
Run,
with
honey!
then she would have to deal with all your like death stuff.
Oh, but I don't have to deal with it, so it's worth it. No, I don't know.
She's better at the paperwork
I
thing.
thought about bringing it, but then I was just, I don't know.
No,
I
I
don't
just
know.
wondered.
I don't typically.
I have my gun, but I don't have my
Right.
concealed carry. So
Right. And in Washington, at least it was. I don't think it's changed. Like open carry was completely legal, but concealed carry.
you know, so this is always funny. Like I'm all for gun rights and stuff, right? But it's funny when I go to like Walmart, just here, and then there's guys walking around with their gun.
Just strapped to them.
Yeah, you can see it. And
Well, it's
like,
just like an intimidation factor. I'm, you know.
I hear like even with it like exposed,
Right.
that's actually like worse because now if someone really wanted to grab their gun, they can just go up behind
Well,
it, and
right.
steal it, or I don't know.
That's the thing is if you are actively, and I've seen guys with rifles just walking around with a rifle on their shoulder
Where?
in town. What the fuck? I know because it's their legal right.
I've seen
And that's
someone with a sword.
There's people that just kind of push the envelope. Like I'm with you. I think people should be allowed to own guns, but I'm also like a sensible. Like there should be reasonable limits. I think the Second Amendment should reasonably be applied, not just extremely be applied.
Like it is kind of weird when people have like AKs and
Right, just strapped over their shoulder, like I have a right to open carry. Yeah, you do, but what message are you trying to project? Are you just trying to make other people feel uncomfortable for your right? What about their right to feel safe?
yeah, it's just
know?
weird to own a gun like that to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with owning it because I get like honestly, like ARs. My brother, you know,
Their ARs
he's
are
a
kinda
cop,
cool.
and he's saying like. Basically, they're a 9mm gun.
Yeah, they are,
Like
yeah.
they're not that powerful. They're scary because people don't understand them and they think that they're this big military gun. But the ones that
It's essentially
civilians get, it's like a pistol. It's
Yeah.
just a long arm pistol.
Well, because you can get all these like expansion kits for
Right.
that stuff.
Right. It's
Alicia's-
not a very powerful, as far as rifles go, it's not a super powerful gun, but it's able to shoot a lot of bullets really fast. And
Eli's
so-
stepdad George. He has like an AR and stuff, and it's pretty cool. He showed me it and stuff, but it's yeah, like you said, it's just basically a handgun, but he has all these
Yep.
other like contraptions,
Right.
So it looks
Right.
like it's an assault rifle.
They have different, yeah, they've got different like body pieces
Well,
that you can
wait,
clip on.
AR is assault rifle, isn't that what that means?
Yeah.
Shit, I just got that right now. I'm so dumb.
Didn't really think
I don't know, and it's like no, it's a alliance request. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not against them. I think
All guns are bad guns.
but I do think, you know, it's ironic to me in our country that the pro-gun people, which again, I get their standpoint. I'm not anti-guns at
Yeah.
all, but they always like to point at it and say it's a mental health issue, not a gun issue. It's like, well, I don't disagree with that, but then if it's a mental health issue, then mentally ill people shouldn't have the guns.
This is true.
And we should have regulation of who gets to have the guns.
But what qualifies as a mental health issue, though? For
Well,
like
I
what would
think-
they say would qualify for that?
I think it's pretty reasonable to assume if somebody has
Psycho, obviously.
documented anger issues like beating their wife or children, or they've gotten into a physical altercation where it was clearly their fault, right? Or there's someone who has been diagnosed with something where there may be like untreated schizophrenia or something and they're having delusions and it's documented.
Yeah.
There's some very simple ways to ensure that you know, just even in the legal justice system, if somebody's in a courtroom and gets convicted of something that would indicate either mental illness or a lack of reasonable responsibility to have access to a gun,
That's true.
if you had a secondary hearing to decide whether or not, based on evidence, this person should or should not have access to weapons. There seems to be a very sensical, reasonable way that you could go about doing that.
So do you think if you're on like antidepressants or anything, would that qualify?
I don't know. I think it would depend. I think you need to have a legal court hearing to determine that. And I think it would have to be recommended by like a psychiatrist or by law enforcement. I think there would have to be some mechanism where it's not just, a family member could petition the court to say, I'm afraid for my safety. My husband has a bunch of guns, but he's been really off lately and very violent, something. The idea that your Second Amendment right trumps everyone else's right to a fair and safe society it seems a little strange. I understand the idea of a Second Amendment. I understand the rights of citizens to have firearms. I get it. At the same time, logically thinking, we're not going to go up against the government. If you think that you're going to have your little rifle and you're going to stand up against the United States military, you're not. Sorry. They have helicopters and bombs and stuff that you will never have. It's not going to happen.
I have this, I have a F-22 Raptor in my yard though, man.
And some people do have some of that kind of crap, and I'm not saying that most gun owners are responsible people. Like the best Second Amendment rights people really believe in safe ownership of guns. They believe in responsible ownership of guns.
I think it is funny though when you got the people who are like, the government's gonna get me. Right. We're going to go to war with them.
Right.
But it's like, come on, man. How many years has people, people been thinking this?
And it's more, to me, it's more of just like the people that want the chaos are the ones that like that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. I'm going to stockpile all this crap because everything's going to hell. Well, then you're actually hoping that everything goes to hell because you're bored and you want excitement, is what I see.
I feel like some of those people who are excited or think that you're going to, I'm going to go to town. They'll be the biggest pussies. Probably.
They would, because they think that they're all ready for it, but they never actually had to do it.
And then you got you're staring down a barrel of a real gun. You're going to be like,
I mean, the likelihood, is it possible that society could completely collapse? Sure. Yeah. That's possible. Absolutely. Am I going to plan on that? Am I going to spend my entire life planning on the 2% chance at most that might happen?
I know.
Not really. I'm going to live my life like a normal human being and focus on the society we have.
I mean, and 2% is
we're talking astronomically higher than the reality.
In reality, it's probably less than 2%. No
matter what, in the United States, the idea of our government collapsing completely. The world's government, let's be honest, American government is still the primary leader of the world. Whether you like it or not, that's the way it is. How about we just focus on preserving our society and put our energy into that instead of plotting its end? Yeah. But it's pretty radical, people.
This has nothing to do with it, but kind of does. I saw this meme, and it's like, oil's been discovered over here. It was like some country, and we found oil, and then it shows the American eagle, and it's like, yes, we did.
Yes, we did. Well, remember Iraq? The brilliant idea of going into Iraq. It was flat out stated, and you can look it up. It was over and over again stated the oil will pay for the war. The idea, misguidedly, was that we had to go after Saddam Hussein because Saddam Hussein was connected to terrorism and 9/11, which there was never any evidence of that at all. He had weapons of mass destruction that he was hiding. Turned out to be not true. Everything. George Tenet, who was a CIA director, wrote a book. I used to have it. I read it. He was the scapegoat for this whole thing. Oh. The Bush administration said that he had all this evidence. According to him, and I believe him based on everything else, administration officials came to him and said, we want the evidence we need that Saddam Hussein has these weapons.
Just make something up.
Basically, like, we know it. They weren't saying it like, we know he doesn't, but we want you to say he does. They believed it in their core.
That there's gotta be.
Because, Bush's dad, dealt with Saddam Hussein, and at that time he did. But Saddam was afraid of America.
Oh, yeah.
After that, he knew Saddam Hussein.
No, I just think of South Park. Satan.
Come here, guy.
That was funny.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's I actually forgot about that. Saddam Hussein and Satan were gay in a couple relationship together, and Satan was actually the female-ish role in the relationship. That was hysterical. But yeah, and their whole point was we don't need to worry about the money of a war because the oil will pay for it.
That's
so crazy. The idea, and I always laughed because I had a teacher who was very openly like, I guess you'd say conservative in that way in high school. And he would always say things like, there's no such thing as a free lunch, guys. But during that same time, the Bush administration was getting us into a war and saying, essentially, it's going to be free because the oil will pay for it. No concept that democracy is not an easy thing.
Yeah.
And that you're not going to go from an autocracy to a democracy. Just boom. Like, we got rid of the dictator, so now democracy can work. It doesn't work that way.
It takes years.
Society is not inherently built for democracy.
Yeah.
Like, usually you get an asshole who wants to control everything. That's the normal thing. The bully takes power and makes everybody else subservient
I
to
feel
them.
like democracy in a country that typically doesn't have that, it's going to take years to build something like that. You got to get the people on board for this.
You have to. You're talking about a country that doesn't have elections.
Yeah.
I mean, Saddam Hussein was at one time they had more of an electoral system, sort of, but they were always a little more tribal. I mean, the Middle Eastern states aren't really. There's areas that are very westernized. And then there's areas that are not as westernized. And there's a lot of geopolitical lines that were built in like the 30s that had more to do with European desire to control areas of the world and
European.
colonization, right? And so they would just sort of geographically draw these lines based on a mountain range or a river or whatever. But it would often cut nations of people in half or split them up in weird ways. And so we were dealing with something that was not simple, but they oversimplified it because, I mean, we can do what we want.
We're America.
But this is the problem with America. And today you can really see it. All the political unrest and like we hate the world and like all the stuff that's worked for 50 years. Like, why are we paying for NATO? Why are we... The reason is if you go back and we have like video documentation of this, when you don't have alliances around the world, when you don't have people economically and politically working for peace, things go freaking nuts and you end up always at war.
Well, look at
it's not fun.
Israel and all that.
Right. Which could easily spiral into a major war. Hopefully it results in peace, but the more you get different nations starting to play a role and different groups.
Yeah, you pick that one side, all of a sudden you got World War III.
We will be on the side of Israel ultimately because they're a formal ally of the United States. I don't agree with the way Israel's handled it, but they are a democratic state. But it's very unfortunate because it's
basically the alliance,
it's like a religious issue. And it's one of those things where if it spirals out of control, that is one area where it's like, I believe in defending allies, but I do believe if we're going to defend an ally, then they need to behave in a way that we would expect. I mean, Israel has a responsibility to protect the lives of innocent civilians, women, children, that have nothing to do with the terrorists that started this whole thing.
Yeah.
There are terrorists and there are innocent people. You can't blow up schools and hospitals and kill hundreds of thousands of innocent people and continue to be in the right spot morally, right? And I think to win a war, you have to clearly be in a place of the moral right. If you look at World War II, Adolf Hitler,
He was in the right.
Who was morally correct? Adolf Hitler. I mean, the guy was actively going out to kill groups of people based on who they were.
Yeah, he killed my Jerusalem, my Jew people.
Right. I mean, Jewish people, people with disabilities, anybody that was different in any way.
I don't like
anyway, lots and lots of different groups. Just absolutely murdering them.
And I take offense to that now that I know I'm Jewish.
There you go. Your 1% Jewish party is very upset.
No, it is crazy though.
But it's like you have to preserve the morality in the issue.
Yeah.
Because I think if you have the moral high ground, whether it's because God's on your side or just the ability to go out and really believe in your cause, there's something about doing something for the right reason that ultimately seems like over time that's what wins out. Maybe I'm wrong.
Religious wars are just I don't know. Holy wars are just weird.
Well, that's the tricky part.
Do you think there's a point where they're like, what was the point? Why are we fighting again?
I think sadly,
You
as
know what I
much
mean?
as it's
Like, do you
religion,
forget
and
why
religion
you're-
should be about love, so much of the world's religion is turned into a hatred.
Well, yeah.
And so there's such deep felt hatred. You know, when you come to the issue with Israel, and I believe in the right of Jewish people to have their own state. I believe in the right of Israel to exist. I mean, there's a huge history and historic reason why it exists. So in no way am I against Israel or believe that they should not exist. But the difficult part is there are also Palestinians, Muslim people in that part of the world where these historic sites are equally as important to them in their religion.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's a lot of, I don't know. I mean, it's like as America, first of all, I don't know how we can be the moderator in that issue successfully when we clearly are on the side of Israel.
I know, yeah, right.
Even if we claim to be somewhat independent, we have always supported Israel. And I understand why. I'm not anti-supporting Israel. But Israel often has behaved in a way in their government, especially under Netanyahu, who's their current leader, in ways that are just like, I don't know.
Crazy.
They're not, in my view, responsible.
Well, listen to the guy's last name. Come on, man.
Netanyahu.
Yahoo.
He's a goddamn Yahoo.
He don't even sound trustworthy.
But some people want a holy
He's a
war.
big
Some people love this, God out
That's
and
so
kill you.
stupid. I bet Kenneth Copeland would.
That guy.
We were just watching this video of him, and he's like on our screen right now, pointing at me, and it's bugging me.
You know what? It's too. Let's just go to it because we're kind of on that.
Roll that clip.
So this is Kenneth Copeland. Somebody had some fun with them, which we love because guys like this. I'm going to say again, I love God. No issue with God.
No. There's
It's
an issue with the church.
Yeah. It's the people. Humans are not God, no matter what position they're in.
Like, I don't know. I think if like Jesus was around now,
He'd be flipping this guy's table.
Yeah, he would be going to these mega churches and messing them up.
He'd be pissed. He'd be outright pissed at these guys. And no one that's honest can say otherwise.
You cannot
The Bible's
convince
chock
me.
full of stories like this guy.
Yeah.
Where Jesus says, hey, good luck. You choose to lead a flock. It says in the Bible, if you choose to lead other people in a godly way, as a priest or a preacher, you have a huge responsibility to God, to other people, and it will be harder for you to be accepted into heaven.
How much do you think that suit is?
Oh, way too much. Look at that cut, that fine fabric, that silk tie.
In the name of Jesus.
Look at that, in the name of Jesus. Look at his teeth. Although it looks a little satanic.
No,
look at his eyes.
Dude, his
eyes. There's no way this guy is not a psychopath.
No, he looks evil.
I'll bet he murders people in his basement for Jesus. I mean, look at him.
He's a satanic. He like does, worshiping the devil. And so he does like rituals and shit. He kills little babies.
Wonder, I don't know. Like Joel Osteen's church, right? When they had the big floods
like down in
Houston, he shut his church down. They just replaced the carpet or something. He has that mega church.
Yeah.
He could have helped how many people? He could have done the work of Jesus in the Bible. He shut it down because he didn't want people to make the carpet dirty.
How do you blame
These people had lost
Take your shoes
homes.
off before you come in here.
The biblical floods, right? I mean, how much more clear can it be? But again and again and again, these guys show their true nature. And let's look at Kenneth Copeland and his feelings about birthdays. I don't know who did this video, but I love it. This guy loves to blow air all the time at different things.
Yeah.
I've seen it for COVID-19. Now for this, here we go.
You fall on your face. You fall on your face.
Surprise, Mr. Copeland. Sorry for interrupting. Make a wish.
Chocolatey cake treat. Chocolatey cake treat.
Chocolate cake treat.
I blow the wind of God.
The wind of God
I know that smile.
On you.
on you.
You are destroyed forever,
You are destroyed forever,
and you'll never be back.
and you'll never be back.
Thank you, our God.
He cannot be a real person.
So,
Shout out
You
to
fall on your face.
Boo Radley.
where did you see you said that you saw the name Daniel Day-Lewis in there? Was it in there? Okay. Starring Daniel Day-Lewis. That's brilliant.
An amazing
So I don't know,
act.
was he actually talking about birthday cakes? Like, is he
Fuck, I
the
don't
type
know.
of preacher that doesn't believe in celebrating birthdays and stuff because
No,
you're
'cause-
supposed to be about
No,
God?
I don't think it's like that. I think there's certain religions. I want to say Jehovah Witness or something. They'll believe in that. I don't think
they
this
don't
is
believe
what-
in getting presents and fun stuff. Yeah.
Well, because my uncle. I don't know. My uncle was at one point. He believed in. I don't know if he was a Jehovah or something, but he didn't believe in like Christmas, so
Right.
he didn't have Christmas trees
Right. Because I know I do know
'cause-
that Jehovah's Witness is one that's like
Well,
that.
because God died on a, essentially a tree or whatever, got pinned to like the stake at the wood, so that represents somehow that's a bad thing or something. I don't
Well, and
know.
I know that you're not supposed to enjoy life enjoyments. I don't know what the word would be, but
Do not enjoy life, please.
pretty much like you're supposed to give yourself to God and life so that you can have eternal afterlife. And Jehovah's Witnesses believe that there's only from my understanding, that there are
Yeah.
only so many positions in heaven.
It's like and it's not a lot.
Which is funny because it's like, well, then it's already full. So what's the
Well,
point?
no. So, how many Jehovah Witnesses are there in the world? Right.
Right.
We'll say like I'm throwing a number out there. 3 million.
Sure,
We'll throw that
that's
out there.
reasonable. Yeah,
But they only think that there's only
like 200,000.
allowed in heaven, right? So you could be a great Jehovah Witness, but mathematically you might not make it to heaven.
But my question is, if a better Jehovah's Witness comes along, because I mean, how long is
You're gonna be off
has
that
it been
wait
around,
list.
right? So you're in heaven, right? And you're like, I made it. Whoa, I made it. Now I can do whatever I want. And then all of a sudden, a better Jehovah's Witness 300 years later comes along.
Oh, you're getting
Can
kicked.
is there like a tiered system? Like,
Oh,
is there
yeah,
a
for
union
sure.
up there? And if you're the lowest member, you're out.
Yeah, if
New
you're
guy
if you're
comes
like in the top 10%, you get like 36 wives. If you're in the bottom,
Do they
you
believe
get-
in that? Do they believe in the multiple wives thing in
I
heaven?
think so.
I know,
could be
I know
making
that some of the extremist Islamists believe that.
Yeah.
The virgins in heaven.
virgin.
Yeah, you get like, I forget how many virgins if you.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Wouldn't want a virgin. Just gonna throw that out.
It's kind of a weird concept, right? You get
They-
all these completely inexperienced people.
Well, no, that and then I mean they're gonna be clingy because they're gonna be like thinking you're like the God's gift to
Right.
sex or something.
Because they've never had better. They don't know how bad you really are.
I know. Is it really only supposed to last 10 seconds?
It's amazing. He's so quick.
He must be so good.
Oh man. I don't know, but
Yeah, I don't.
it's fascinating.
Something I was gonna bring up though was
Yeah.
this getting off subject, sort of.
That's
was
good.
double standards, right?
Yeah.
So and
Let's
I
talk
think-
double standards.
And so we were dropping off Blanca
Yeah.
from the gym this morning. And there's this guy that is in the neighborhood of where Tom lives.
Okay.
Tom knows who he is.
Mm.
He's always running around with his fucking shirt off.
Yes.
Being a good dad with
A
his
father who has the time to stay in good shape.
like he's probably 6'3".
Something's very suspicious.
The guy, I don't
A
know.
nice guy. He's a fine guy.
I don't know if he is nice or not, but he seems like a nice guy. But he's like a very fit, like he's a good looking guy.
He
Right?
takes care of himself.
So the other day, like Alicia, and I think it was Cheeky or something, like, man, his ass, like, he's wearing these pants. You see his butt? I'm like, no, I'm not. What am I doing looking? And so we were leaving today, and here he comes. And she goes, oh, I should have told. We should have waited, Blanca, so Blanca could see him. He's running with his shirt off with his dog and his kids. And she's like, what, babe? You're going too fast. I didn't get a chance to see his butt. I'm like, oh my god. And then we're driving. And I was just like, Toady, if there was a girl that was like running around like that, but I was like, hey, look at that ass, or
Right.
doing that, would that upset you? She's like, probably, but I'm a girl. That's probably why.
Well, so here's the thing, too.
But that's true, right?
Our wives went to that stupid Thunder from Down Under show.
It's like a Magic Mike
It's
show.
such a normal thing for girls to go and these stupid naked guy things.
They have dick
And
tassels on.
It's funny because I don't personally know a guy that really would enjoy going to a strip club. I think everyone I personally know has gone to a strip club for whatever social
Yeah.
event at a certain period of their life. But it's very few men that like go on the regular to strip clubs. And I'm not denigrating it, whatever.
Well,
But
so usually the men that are going on the regular too, they're probably kind of creepy. At least according to like women, I'm guessing.
right. And there is, it is a funny thing. Like on the one hand, I don't want to be looked at as a piece of meat or sexualized or whatever. I think it has more to do with the attractiveness of the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
I think too with those Magic Mike shows, it's more of a, was it cabaret? It's like, more of a like, they put on a show, they do dances.
Right.
But they don't really have something like that for girls. Although they had the little midget one, but the micro.
wait, what?
Remember I sent you that too?
Oh, yeah.
It was like micro machines or something it's called.
Yes.
I don't know if it's called micro machines, but
Mighty Morphin Micro Machine.
but no, I don't know. I've been to a couple strip clubs and it's just not
It's just kind of awkward.
a bunch of horny dudes. Like I don't want to be around that. That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's like
Call me gay. I don't know what you call me, but I just don't
no, but
care
truly,
for
like
it.
I and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just haven't talked to my friends deeply enough. But I've never been in the presence of guys who just were like, "Hey, let's just go to the strip club."
No,
I know that there are guys like that out there. I know that there are guys who aren't creepy that are like that. But it seems like in our society, sexualization for women is now more acceptable
Yeah.
than sexualization for men.
True.
It's a weird thing. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe
You're
I'm
not.
completely wrong. But it does seem a little double standardish. Like,
It does because it's like, but going back to that, it seems like it's okay for girls to tell
to objectify men.
and just to tell like our spouses to tell us that
Right.
we're okay with that, right?
Right.
Yeah, we might get a little jelly here and there, but in overall, we're not like, I hate you,
Right.
whatever. We're like, whatever,
Right.
it's a guy. Okay, they're gonna look. But I know if the roles were reversed, there would be more backlash. I think.
Absolutely.
And Alicia admitted that she was like,
Well,
"Eh."
so
She
this
goes, "But
guy's
you would-"
wife, right? She had kids, so she was a little bit bigger before. No big deal, but
She wasn't really big though.
she
ever.
wasn't. No, she wasn't big, but she was just bigger.
She had a big
at
ass.
the time.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't
And
know what she did.
she's just like him. She takes care of herself. She's really. I don't know, like Kim Kardashian up.
I don't know if she is.
She has. I can tell you because she looks totally different.
I don't know.
And that's the only reason I say it is that she just looks very different than what she did before. They both take really good care of themselves. But if I were to make, like you said, make the same comments about her,
yeah.
as much as Blanca acts like she wouldn't care and it'd be fine, it would cause issues.
Well, I think not only that, but I can see now she's gonna do it a little extra.
Yeah.
Just to try to piss you off.
Absolutely.
Because,
and I'll
"Oh,
admit,
did you
I
see
easily
his
get
dick?"
pissed at that kind of shit. I always make the comment, if someone's exercising out in public without a shirt on, it's to show off.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no other reason. She argues, I think they're just trying to be. She's got this big heart on for like, nah. But then every time she talks about it, it's in this very sexualized way of, I'm like, if I'm wrong, then why are you talking about it?
I'm not gonna lie. If I had the body, I would do that too.
See,
I would.
exactly.
I would.
But
no one wants to see
don't
this.
have the body, so I'm not going to do it.
Dude, I get nervous taking my shirt off just because I want to mow the yard.
Right.
Like I think people are gonna drive by and be like, "Get your shirt
and
on,
I
you
told
sick
her, I
bastard."
acknowledge that there is a small subset of people who take their shirt off no matter what. There are some flabby guys out there running around without a shirt on. And in their case, it's because they don't want to be warm. 99% of the time, you're showing off what you got. It's
like, oh, did my six pack blind you? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so
And-
sorry.
Blanca's not going to look at a guy that looks like me like she's going to look at the guy
Oh,
that
yeah.
has a six pack.
I mean, that's
But that's human nature. I'm not, I hate it when my wife does that. It pisses me off, but
I mean-
same
with if I see a guy with his shirt off, I'm gonna see. Oh yeah, dude got nice abs. If I see a guy with his shirt off and he's got a big old gut, I'll be like, put your shirt on, bro.
It makes me proud. I tell him, good for you.
Start clapping.
No, I mean, even when I was working out all the time, I didn't do enough I don't like abs. So I didn't do enough ab workouts to look that great.
So I'm running, so I've been going to the gym. We go about 5 times a week. And I still don't have abs. I don't have none of that.
But my
I love to
goal
eat.
is truly not, I don't know. I would love to be in that kind of shape. I don't care enough. I'm too lean of a body build anyway. I'm either oddly fat or skinny. Like that's what I am.
Oddly, I just picture like a Gru.
Well, I have side
Minions.
fat. That's pretty much, I get belly fat and side fat. A little bit of boob fat. My arms stay scrawny. My legs are the most beefy part of me. I don't have to do anything, and my legs look somewhat built, but no other part of my body's like that.
Yeah, I think when
So
I get
it's
big,
just, you know.
it's my legs stay the same, my arms pretty much stay the same. It's just the gut, and the face. I get in the face too.
I don't as much. I do a little bit. I've noticed from some of the pictures.
When
but,
when I was drinking a lot, like definitely.
Right.
I had the look like a happy little Chinese boy or something, man. She was just like squishy face.
I just like to say again, that was Jesse, not Tom, that said that.
You know what I mean, though. Like,
Jesse, you can get away with it.
I'm every race, people.
I'm purely
Actually,
Northern European.
I do not have Asian in me. Not yet, anyway. You know what I'm saying?
And you?
So gross.
There's a lot of different ways to read that. Hey, switching gears again, we got an honor the other day that we have not had yet. We got our first negative comment, which is pretty great.
It was great.
You know, I was always afraid that if we got a negative comment, I'd be butthurt and have a hard time with it. But the reality is, especially in this world, you know, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm going to read it.
I got to say, it was a pretty funny comment.
It was. I got a good kick out of it. We know we're not like the best podcast on earth. Well, do we feel like we are? Of course.
We do it for us.
My mom and my dad are our biggest fans. I'm just
They
gonna
really
throw that-
are.
They're the only ones who comment on our
They
video.
comment like crazy. Your mom especially. I've seen
I couldn't
comments
even
where she literally goes through and like fact checks everything you say, fills in the gaps of any story
Yeah,
that you tell.
you remember we stayed at like anyway.
Yeah.
My mom needs to fix her username though. At user, and then it has like this long thing, whatever. I'm looking for the comment out through all this. Oh, this is from at hoo-ha. Hoo-ha. Isn't that a vagina? You're a hoo-ha. You're a hoo-ha showing your cooter.
So
Hoo-ha cat ream. I don't know. You already got a terrible username, by the way.
Jesse's a little butthurt.
He's a garbage spam Facebook ad leads to garbage spam YouTube video. I love it.
So we're spam. That's cool.
I guess.
Hey, you know what? Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
And thanks for your garbage ass comment, bro.
Thank you for commenting. It actually gives us more to talk about.
I think I gave it a thumbs up when I like replied.
We should. Hey, you know, if you hate us, tell us.
Yeah.
I mean, any kind of interaction's a good thing.
Yeah.
We pretty much
could at least
talk into
subscribe.
an echo chamber.
Yeah, he could have subscribed at least. Or
Subscribe,
her, or they.
motherfucker.
Or
We have
whatever.
160 subscribers ish.
Yeah, about 158, 160. I'm just rounding up.
Proud of that.
Yeah,
you know,
too.
every
Shit.
week we come and we talk.
Yeah.
That's all this is. We just talk.
That's
We have normal jobs. We have normal people.
we.
We've got normal families. This is all about two guys who are in a gay relation. No, just kidding. No, we're two guys
We're
in
just-
a family. It's so hard to explain. His wife, they divorced. I met her.
No.
We got married. We became best friends.
My baby mama is his wife.
That's right.
That's pretty much it. My baby is now going to be 15, but
And she's been my daughter, my stepdaughter, since she was 3.5.
Yeah,
so
so
you know,
12 years.
we have this unique experience of being two guys in this fun family relationship, and we've become very good friends out of it. So our goal is to show that it's possible. Our goal is to deal with family things that we experience,
We,
joke around, have fun.
our kids get along really well.
Yeah.
His boy just spent the night at my house last night.
Yep.
Next week we're going to I'm going to their family reunion. Go figure.
Yeah, my wife's family reunion.
Got shirts and everything.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it
is what it is. It's possible. that it could
family
work.
can be anyone,
It is,
right?
yeah.
I mean, so anyway, if you don't know who we are, that's who we are. If you hate us, that's cool. Half of what we talk about is just us joking around, or
Most of the
our
stuff we
dumbass
talk
opinions.
about is going to be stuff we talk
So-
about outside of.
Yeah, you know, you're just hanging out with us. That's it.
I think we would have these conversations regardless.
Yeah.
I know when we last time when we drink, sometimes that gets flowing though.
Yeah, a little glass of whiskey. I mean, we held it together pretty well. You know.
Well, I didn't feel real, but like you get that like
you get
loose
the flow.
You're just like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say whatever.
Yeah. See, Sunday mornings we drink coffee, but Sunday
A
nights,
lot of coffee. Sunday nights we drink coffee with whiskey.
Yes. Hold the coffee.
Hold the whiskey.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the end of my spiel about who we are.
Yeah, we're just awesome people.
So yeah, if you don't like us, shut the fuck up and
Move on.
Hey, I want to thank Cooter 3000 or whatever your name was for your comment.
Hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha.
Cooter
Whatever the other
3000.
part was.
Change your
For
name to Cooter 3000,
your comment,
please.
to hate it so much that you were willing to take the time to comment on it was great.
That is great.
I mean, hey, obviously it resonated.
And
You're
if-
probably still thinking about that time that was taken from you, and I'm proud that we were able to do that.
And maybe you were reaching out because there's something on your mind you need to talk about.
Yeah,
That's
hey.
okay. We're here for you.
Hey, hoo-ha. Talk to us.
No.
What?
Cooter 3000.
Cooter,
now.
you have a new name. Cooter, if you're listening, we are here for you.
Yeah.
You tell us what you need help with. We'll give you advice that you can ignore. We'll give you more information that you can shit on. Whatever you need, brother, we're here for you. Okay.
Life.
So
It's so tough.
don't worry. Anybody out there, if we actually see a question or a comment, we'll be happy to bring it up.
No,
Because I would love to get more actual interactive going on. We don't have that.
I kind of like because I've been listening to a lot of Theo Von, and so I like how he has it where people call in,
Right.
and he'll answer questions.
But we
I
have
think
to have
that'd be
people
cool.
that actually do that. So that's
Yeah,
we need you guys because we've been doing this for 3 years now. Almost 3 years, right? As of
It will
Elena's
be
birthday, right?
It'll be 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. Damn,
Hey.
that's crazy.
Yeah, we've been at it. We're not quitting. You may want us to. You may be wondering, why am I doing this every week? Why am I listening? Why am I tuning in? Well,
For us, it's therapeutic.
we
At least for me.
enjoy it. If you don't, keep listening, please. We have 160 subscribers. Hang in there with us.
Yeah. One day we'll have 100,000.
You know, for a while there, we had guests coming on. We've kind of slacked on. You know, like anything, we have periods of time where we grow and we flourish. We have periods of time where we're probably a little bit more
I think-
dealing with our own regular lives, and we don't.
Well,
you
I think
know,
like anything, like change.
Yeah.
Any kind of change.
Scary.
It's scary, and so like change.
scary. We might get rejected, Cooter 3000. We might hear
Well,
negative
I mean-
comments.
I think just even just trying to bring guests on and do something, it's kind of scary for us.
Yeah.
At least for me, because it's like, what do we talk about? Like,
Right.
oh, what if it doesn't work out? But just like you guys, change is hard, but it's sometimes
I wonder
needed.
if we could possibly get James Mattis to come on.
Who?
Man,
James
I'm
Mattis?
so disappointed in you. He was the defense secretary under Trump, but he's like a super cool guy.
Oh.
Like he's actually I mean, if you're a Trumper, you probably don't love him so much because he kind of felt like he wanted to
What would
keep
we-
things moving in a direction that was more traditional.
Was he the one who got cut real quick?
No, he was around for a while, but he did have a falling out with the president, and he actually lives here. He lives in Richland, and he's known to go to McDonald's, but he's just he doesn't shit talk the president. He had a falling out, but he doesn't. One time when
Was he the general?
during
Right.
January 6th, that was the only time he said anything about the president.
Right, he was a general or something.
But he was he was a general, and he's
Oh,
a
okay, I
very
know what you're talking
well-read guy, and he's I don't know, he's a man of leadership. He has that like innate leadership. He's not just a follower.
What if we got him on? What would we even talk to him about?
I would have
you-
so many questions.
I would ask if he shot anybody in the face.
Jesse would have so many questions. I think I would want to talk to him about leadership, like qualities of leadership, how to be a leader in your own life, like
that is good. 'Cause
like maybe what's kept him. You look at some people and they just seem so put together.
Yeah.
And so like they just have it.
that's
Like in his life, what brought that order? Was it natural? Did he learn it?
Like,
What
he's a
was it
real adult,
experience?
is what I think of.
Forever.
Yeah,
Forever.
yeah.
And he was a military man, but there's a lot of military men that aren't that, not as well put together. They have a lot of mental issues from their war experience. This guy's a general. He's been in war situations. How is he able to use that experience, and like what innate qualities does he have that differentiates him from other people? I know he's a well-read person. He's a thinker. a philosopher of sorts. So it'd be very fascinating to talk to him. There's another local politician. He was our police chief for Kennewick.
Which one is that one?
His daughter works with me at my school, Ken Hohenberg.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've seen him on the news.
Great guy. And he's now like a local politician. He's one of our port of Benton, whatever you call them.
Well, I
commissioners.
I worked with a guy that's running for office, Matt Bonke.
Okay.
Boinky.
He's running for state representative, right?
Yeah. He used to be an instructor when I used to work at Charter for a bit. Like I think he was into IT side of things. He was a pretty cool guy.
Nice.
I don't think he'll remember me. I know me and Alicia, we went to her work sometimes has these they get tickets to like galas and stuff like that. So we got to go to this one that had like it had that she's like Hispanic mayor chick.
Yes.
Remember when we went to Elena's
I can't
thing?
think of her name, but yes, I know
It's
exactly.
probably
who you're
Maria.
Again, that was Jesse who made that comment. If you're wondering, look at the video.
I'm pretty Mexican myself, so it's legal.
It wasn't the white guy.
But she was also at this gala we went to for this like performing arts thing because they want to build this performing arts center here in the Tri-Cities. So it's a little more like you would see in like a bigger
Which
city.
I think they did get the funding for it, didn't they?
I don't know. I know
think
they were trying to get that, but she was there. And, that Matt Bonke was there.
Wow.
So it's like it's cool. It would be cool to like I don't know. We can get our name out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I was leaving the gym today, Blanca's like, "Why don't you should put you guys as Just Weird Blended in here, so and like let them know about
It is scary though. There is a point of like getting yourself out there more. I'm very comfortable with the guys
I think
that
the
work listening or like people I know that listen.
I think
because they're very nice. They know us and they're like, oh, we'll support you guys.
Yeah, I think the scary part is what do you do when you start growing and you get to this level where it's like, oh shit, now we got to really.
I know.
We really got to start putting stuff out there.
Right.
But one day, if it happens, I will quit my job to just make this a full-time thing. If that was ever a possibility.
Yeah.
And I would not tell my boss until the day I'm
of.
leaving.
Yeah, I love what I do. I don't know if I could quit
No, I know.
teaching, but
I love what I do. I just don't love.
who you do it for?
Yeah. I was just seeing this thing though. It's like why, we got to give our 2 weeks notice, but they give us no notice to fire
Right.
us. So
Talking about a double standard, let's talk about that.
like why is that okay?
Yeah, I think a lot of the rage in this country is about corporate culture in America.
It's like, nope, put in your 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's good for you. Well, you know what? Fuck.
If you look at a lot of the issues politically on both sides of the aisle, the anger is about one thing, the haves.
Yeah.
There's haves and the have-nots. And unfortunately, way more of us feel like have-nots than haves. We feel left out. We feel like no one's looking out for us.
Yeah.
And the anger ends up towards our government and our politicians. The reality is we are the government and the politicians because we elect them. We actually have an awful lot of authority and power in our system.
I think sometimes people do when it comes to like election. I was just telling Alicia this too. Sometimes people are just, I don't think they look at what their people are talking
They
about
do
sometimes.
not.
And they're just like, I like this person.
Yep.
I'm voting for this person.
Party identity is a big thing.
You know what I mean?
But even more than that, do you know how many people go into a voting booth or just look at the names? They don't make a decision till they look at the names and they don't know anything about the person.
Yeah.
My feeling is if you haven't educated yourself, don't vote.
Yeah, because like, I don't know. Like with
And-
the presidency thing, right?
Right.
I don't care for either of them, to be honest. They both suck to me. They're both going to, I think there's negative things on both sides, obviously. But I think people just don't like this person or don't like this person. So I'm just going to vote for them. Even, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like, can we just get some
But the bigger
shit
issue
where
is
people come in?
I
and
think
it's
when
like-
people don't know even what they're voting for.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's
I mean,
crazy.
you have so much power if you educate yourself, and educating yourself means different things to different people. Like me, I'm going to vote differently than somebody who's opposed to my viewpoints, and that's fine.
Yeah.
If you're coming from a place where you know what your beliefs are, you know your economic beliefs, you know your social beliefs, then you're ready to vote, and you're a citizen voting for a world that you want to see. But if you're just looking at random names, And I'm not saying that I know everything
I hate
about
that name
everybody.
Barry Bush. I ain't voting for him.
Yeah. You know, I mean, but it's amazing how many people, like the undecided voters, it's not that they really understand the issues and they're just not sure who is going to represent them better. It's a lot of just like, I'm going to vote, but I don't really care to research anything.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's very dangerous to just be a party voter and just to believe in a party, because then you're always going to vote for your candidate because of their affiliation. You're not going to listen.
And I think, and that's where
you
like,
know, to their
everyone
stances.
does that. Fuck that.
And I don't know, but it is a beautiful thing that we have, and we shouldn't lose it. But that's where I would like to see our podcast. Like if some of those people, the local leaders, like the people that just seem to have it together, and you know, you can get bit in the ass. Sometimes you find out that they're like, you know, picking up prostitutes or something. But generally speaking,
damn it.
the two guys I mentioned, I would be blown away if that were the case. They are very stand-up people, and they just
Right? Can you imagine? Like, wait. So, we have you on today's podcast. One question around these allegations of picking up prostitutes.
What's your source? That is none of your business. God, that would
One,
totally
I need
agree
to
with
know, where are you finding these prostitutes?
that. Yeah, where do you go?
Hey,
No, it's
I'm going to take this offline.
off the record. No, I think I've always been really fascinated by people who are like strong leaders, naturally.
Like, we were actually going to interview this one guy that had, he had like a restaurant. Remember?
Yes.
We actually reached out to him and we were going to get set up, but then, you know, we found out he's not the greatest person.
Well, I don't know about that. I felt a little bad that we didn't go through with it, because I'm like, it would have been an interesting discussion, but at the time he had just gotten arrested for a domestic violence issue.
Yeah. Would it be
you know,
wrong to ask him? So when you fucked your wife up, like, how'd that make you feel?
Yeah, I don't know. I think
know, like-
I do think that as a culture, it's important to give people the opportunity to work through things to become better. I think it's sad that, you know, part of our decision not to go forward with it was the feeling that you can't be sympathetic to somebody that's done something bad, right?
Yeah.
And that's true. I mean, you can't forgive necessarily, or just like downplay or lighten something that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But at the same time, where our culture is not so great, until the work's done, right? We always have the comeback story. But people need the opportunity to work through issues to become better. I mean, are we just looking to denigrate people and keep them down? Or is our goal to take people where they're at and move them to a better position? Like,
Well, sometimes I think you,
You know
need
what I'm
that
saying? Like-
that uplift, because sometimes you get,
Right.
you know, you fall in a bad situation where you just make a bad decision or you do
Right.
something wrong. So
Right,
it's nice
absolutely.
to have someone to come in and, you know, not look at that mistake and kind of like lift you up, like,
Right.
you know, see the good things you do, or know that you did change. You're not like beating your wife anymore. It was
Right.
just a moment of weakness. I don't
well,
know.
and I don't personally know anything about the situation
I'm-
outside of
I'm-
what I've heard secondhand, but it's,
So it's
you know,
true.
it's one of those things. Yeah. So definitely true. No, but I just, you know, part of it, I'm glad that we didn't do it at the time, because I don't know how.
Yeah. How it came about.
At the time, like, this individual was, you know, kind of a leader in the community, doing a lot of very good things for the community. So it was unfortunate when this event happened. I think
It would have been good to see like his point of view on like how his upbringing was and like, the things he's
and
dealt
just to
with.
hear, you know, again, I mean, do we believe in redemption? Do we believe that people can work through issues and become better, or do we think that you just are who you are? And
I don't know. I
you
like
know,
to
not
think.
change, so-
I think people do change eventually.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on your situation and what's around you that
Yep.
causes that change.
Right,
Or if
personal
it's something
growth.
you want to do.
right,
Because once you get comfortable with a certain person, like any like relationships, when you're like comfortable, obviously those mistakes you can kind of keep doing it because it's comfortable and the people around you are like they're allowing it,
right.
instead of
And you
know,
let your own guard down with yourself, right?
Yeah.
The more comfortable you get, the more you kind of let loose or don't.
yeah, but like like with Alicia, like I think I've changed just because there's certain things she's probably like she'll say stuff or
Right.
or I want to be better because I'm
Right.
just like, oh, I shouldn't be a piece of shit.
Yeah, truly, any
Not that I ever
relationship you
was.
have, for better or for worse, does change you.
Yeah.
You know, you learn from the successes and the failures. And I think if you're in a committed, like Blanc and I have been together for over 10 years now. When you've been committed to somebody that long, there's no way that you haven't changed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because you wouldn't, I don't think you'd be together if there weren't some shifting and changing.
Yeah, me and Alicia, I just saw something. I think it's been 12 years. Mm-hmm. Just saw like a video, a picture pop up on Facebook like 12 years ago. I was
Yeah.
like, damn! I had my sideburns.
Pretty nuts, I
I had
know.
sideburns, and I just had a goatee,
Yeah,
and I had these long sideburns. Oh my god!
man.
No,
So
when
you
you-
had the beard, just not.
No, I didn't
this
have a
part?
beard. Yeah, I just had like my sideburns went down to the bottom of my earlobes is how I do
Sure.
it, and then I just had a goatee.
But you get my joke?
Yeah.
So you had a beard, just minus.
Minus the side. I should have done the mutton chops.
Right? Is that the old like 1800s deal?
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I should do that for Halloween.
There was a time in my life where I just had the goatee. That was pretty cool.
Then there's the soul patch. I never had that.
What's the soul patch? Just this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think right here.
Yeah.
Which looks weird.
Yeah.
The beards that really bug me, and they can't even be called beards, is when people just have that line. Oh. Get the fuck out of here with that stupid ass
So what that
beard.
is a fake jawline. I'm pretty sure.
It's gotta be. Because it's
Yeah.
like, just, I don't know.
It kind
It
of
just
gross.
looks weird.
Kind of
Like,
skeezy.
I shaved a little too far underneath my chin one time.
Yeah.
And it looked like that. Oh, my fucking God. I hated
You almost
it.
shaved the whole thing off?
Oh, yeah. I almost did because like I said, I lined up, instead of lining up like right above my Adam's apple, I went a little higher.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
There's
dude, this
nothing
looked
worse
terrible.
than slipping with your razor. I did that last week. I accidentally, because like I'll do it with a depth setting or whatever you call it, a guide, right? And then I'll go through and just kind of clean it up freestyle.
Yeah.
And on this side, I accidentally went a little too close. And so there's like one little line. Nobody ever commented on it, including Blanca. So maybe it wasn't as noticeable. But for me,
Dude.
it made me nervous.
When I used to have my goatee, there had been a couple times where I'd be like shaving and I'd mess up like my lip or I'd
Yeah.
do something. I'm like, oh fuck, I have
Yeah.
to shave. Like, so I'd like shave it down. It's almost bald, but not quite enough.
Yeah.
Because when I'm like bald, I'd look,
I do not like my face without a beard.
oh God, I'd
don't.
look terrible.
I don't.
One
I
day,
have a very British chin, which I do not love.
I have a butt chin. I have a cleft.
My dad has a cleft. I think clefts are very distinguished.
I have a distinguished, and then I have a mole right here too. No one
yeah?
can see. I
so
don't
you're
know.
like Cindy Crawford.
Oh yeah, I was before her. I was beautiful. No,
Yeah.
she was pretty hot though.
I don't like my little pointy chin, but you know what? I love myself, so who cares?
I know. I'm gonna.
I shouldn't talk down
I think
about
next
myself.
podcast, I'm gonna do it with my shirt off. You
There
guys
you
ain't
go.
gonna know unless you show YouTube.
Unless you watch the YouTube video, which
like,
we
damn,
do
look at
post.
those milky tits.
Yeah. So if the negative comments weren't coming in before,
Oh, they'll come in for sure. Like, man, I just want to like titty fuck.
any
him.
comment is a good comment,
Yeah,
right? And yeah, we've never had a negative comment until now,
yeah, I like it.
and that's I think that's a good thing. That's a sign of growth.
It is.
You know, you don't
be the
have lovers
change.
without the haters,
This is true.
right? Kenneth Copeland gets it.
Would you interview Kenneth Copeland?
Why not?
Would he blow on
But
us?
he'd have to come in person.
You'd have to blow on me. What?
Well, I need his presence here to show me the light of the Lord.
Be healed.
Yeah, I need him to hit me with his jacket a few times.
Fucking hit you with the zipper. Fuck, that hurt.
I don't know, man. I'm afraid I might get possessed by a demon, though. If I sit in the same room as him. If you look at his eyes,
No, just look at him. He looks
Just
evil, bruh.
look right there. Can we zoom in
His-
at all? Can you zoom in on this kind of thing? No, probably not.
What's this little? I don't know.
That unzooms.
Oh,
that
that's
makes it smaller.
I'm sure there's
Just
a way.
look at those eyes, though, folks. I mean, there's got to be. There's some kind of demonic possession going on there.
Yeah.
I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
No.
I don't know. What do
Well-
you guys think?
What do they say? Devil in sheep's clothing or something?
Right.
Shit like
the
that?
wolf in sheep's
Yeah, there you
clothing.
go. Same shit.
The devil wears Prada, you know?
Oh, well, exactly. Look what he's wearing.
Yeah,
That's
that's
probably
got to
a
be
Prada.
Prada or like, that's not Kenneth Cole.
No,
That's a higher grade than Kenneth
that's not
Cole.
J.C.
You can't
Penney's,
go
bro.
to J.C. Penney's or Macy's and get that suit.
No,
that's not an off the rack article.
No, I think that's a. I think
know.
that's tailored for
This
sure.
is what they call hand painted silk, if you can believe that. What's his name? The Dapper Don.
He farms spiders to make that coat.
Yeah, there's Chinese children in Malaysia that hand wove this tie.
Of course, the white guy would say something so racist.
No, he
I'm just kidding.
personally took Chinese children and moved them
He
to
probably
Malaysia
did.
for the purpose of
I could
making his
see him do
clothing.
that.
That's the point I'm getting at.
His house, he has a sweatshop in his
I
basement.
wonder what kind of watch that is. You know that's not Timex.
No, hey, was it him or there was a preacher? I think we spoke on this, but he was like upset because he needed a Rolex.
That
or
was
something.
I don't know who he was. He was an African American preacher,
but he was saying
I don't know what his church was. I'm only saying African American because this guy is very, very not. So it was another church, another great leader.
Dude, why does his finger look weird?
Jesus always said, "Get more money for yourself." That is the way
Make
to
that
be
money,
holy.
ho. That's what he
For
said.
some reason, America has chosen that one viewing of the Bible, which is completely contrary to everything I've read in the Bible. But Jesuit priests believe in a vow of poverty, which is very in tune with the Bible. And I'm not saying you have to be poor to be holy, but let's face it, Jesus did not say keep for yourself and deny others.
How rich was Jesus? That's
Jesus
what I want
was
to know.
pretty
What
damn
was his
poor.
net worth?
He hung out with prostitutes and fishermen and like low lives, and he would have been with the fentanyls.
He'd be
He
hanging
would
out
have
with
been chilling with fentanyls, and I'm not saying that that's a good thing because I think sadly people are hurting themselves with drugs. But he would have been,
He would have been
hanging
hanging
out.
with I think it would have been like recovered addicts. And
Yeah,
stuff.
he would have been hanging out with people, the downtrodden in the bar. He would have been in the bar,
Well, he'd
helping
be with
people out, giving them advice.
I think he'd be with those people who had lived a life of, it was a hard life, but
Yeah.
they've come through and
Right.
they have something, respectful to say.
Right. Hey, maybe there's a lot of people that say Kenneth Copeland saved their life. Maybe he's done some really, really good things. Maybe he started schools in Africa. Or maybe he's like, I don't know, done something else really good and godly.
I don't think
But
so.
if you look at that suit, just look at the cut of that suit, man. That's an expensive suit.
Nah, I'm
That's
gonna
an
go
expensive
with
suit.
he never started any schools.
And he bought Tyler Perry's airplane. He yelled at a lady over that.
a fucking airplane.
He needs an airplane. He needs his own personal airplane because Jesus said, if you can't fly first class,
Don't fly
at all. And Jesus could fly
Yeah,
himself.
he can actually. He
can walk
has
on water.
superpowers. Duh.
So I don't know. I just think, again, if you're going to be a leader of a flock, then you have a higher responsibility in the eyes of God.
Mm-hmm.
I am not the leader of a flock. I take no
Yeah, you are.
claim.
Your little flock.
Yes,
Your little family
my
flock.
little flock of my family.
It's the same. It's the same, really.
Kind of.
Just
Actually, yeah, religious people would say that as men, we are the religious responsible leaders of our family.
yeah.
Which I almost the other day Elliot was kind of talking. He's seen some YouTube stuff about Jesus. He's somewhat knowledgeable now, which is good. And I do feel a little bit bad that I never did take him to church at all. I grew up with enough church that I felt I had a basis to make my opinion. And I do feel like I've kind of denied my child that
No,
freedom.
I get
you
it.
know? So I've thought about taking him to a church, but I don't know. I don't personally feel like you have to have a church
No, I don't think you do.
to have a relationship with God. But I'm also not the best at like, son, sit down and we're going to read this passage of the Bible and discuss it. I'm a lazy father.
That doesn't make you lazy. It's just not your thing.
No,
like my
but
mom would
it's-
read us the Bible.
But it is important, I think, to expose your children to religion enough that they can make their decision. We are a Judeo-Christian society primarily, not necessarily legally, but primarily I am from that tradition, and I feel that I've denied my child that to some degree. So
Yeah, just start going to church. Fuck it.
yeah, but then you feel committed and responsible, and they're like,
No,
"You
I
should
don't-
come to the eating thing."
The potluck.
and you're like,
No.
yeah, and then you got to lie to Christian people, and it's sad.
I would lie to him. I don't care.
But there
No, I'm
are.
just kidding.
I'm a little more on the
I don't want to go
liberal
to
side of socials.
You know
and-
why I
and-
won't go to like the church thing? Because I don't want to be a hypocrite.
Right.
Like who am I to go? Like, I'm going to church just to show my kid to go to church. When in reality, I really don't want to be here.
Well, I think if you're open about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
then you're
open for my
not.
kid
Like,
if they
I
want to
would
go.
openly tell Elliot, like, hey, I'm not a big church person, but I want you to get the experience to decide for yourself.
I won't lie, like youth groups and stuff, those were so fun. I really enjoyed
Yeah.
youth group and all that stuff. Like the worshiping stuff, not my thing. I didn't really care for the singing.
Well, you had a very different church experience than I had. There was singing, but we didn't speak in tongues or any of that kind of stuff.
yeah.
It was a lot more like you do in the beginning. You come in, you sit down, they do the hymns, you sing.
I mean, that's a weird thing for a kid to experience, though,
Yeah,
right? You know, like
right.
here, chaka-laka-paka-laka-laka.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is going on? Right now?
You know, like
Yeah.
the Lord speaking through you. Did you guys jump up and dance? Were you one of those
There's
churches?
people. There were people who
We
did
were
dancing.
not. We were a church of you
They'd
sit
put
in
out
the
their little-
pews and you listen, and the preacher would come up and he would give a very inspiring. He was a very inspiring, very love oriented, and it was very calm, peaceful. Like I've never understood, and it's great. All churches are different. I've never understood like the loud.
So during
praise
worshiping,
Jesus kind of.
so during worship, like when the singing, that's usually when it's like that. But during like when the pastor was actually like doing his sermon, it was always calm. It wasn't like a crazy stuff. You'd hear people like, "Oh, amen," or "Hallelujah." You'd hear that stuff. But during worship is when that's when you're feeling the spirit and you're like singing in tongues and
So
you're,
they're playing music,
yeah.
and you're just
Like,
feeling it.
Hey! Yeah. You're just hyped, man.
See,
You're
we
just hyped
didn't-
up for the concert.
We didn't
I
do
guess.
that. You could sing along with the hymn, their hymnal or whatever.
That sounds.
But they had like the hymn book that you could read from. Or
Oh no, ours
I
would be
never
on like a
sang.
projector.
I sat there and tried not to fall asleep. Being like a 7-year-old kid in church on Sunday morning.
I was hoping to miss worship all the time.
I hated church when I was a kid. I still would prefer not to go, but there is. I am glad I had the experience now looking back because like I said, at least I feel that the preacher I was very fortunate because he gave me a very even love-based relationship with God.
Yeah.
It's not a fire and brimstone. It was not a hate other people. It was
No,
a
that's
very
how kind of our pastor Marshall was. He was very much like that. He was a very down to earth guy, at least to me.
yeah.
Ex biker, all that stuff. Like,
Right.
It was a good experience, like you said. It was.
Yeah.
I had that as well, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just
I've researched churches because most American churches are very judgmental, frankly. Like LGBTQ stuff, they're just like, you're going to go to hell. You really have no place here. You should come to be saved, but you have to change who you are to be here, to be loved by God. I prefer religions that say, hey, it's not my job to judge you. I have no say in your life. Jesus is the one that will... really just leave it to God. I don't get why we have to give a shit. As long as if someone's like raping kids or something, obviously, that's not good. You need to change your
and
ways.
that's the stupid shit I don't get either. Like you sit here rape little kids and then you, forgive me, and then you're going to heaven. Get out
And
of
then
here.
all
Bullshit.
of a sudden you're forgiven.
No, you ain't.
Like,
I don't think so. I don't think
people
you're
can
allowed.
change. I think you can feel bad about something you didn't truly change and truly feel guilty and truly not.
But if you're
do
like a
those things
serial
again.
rapist or something,
But if you're still out there trying to, like I murdered women, I'm gonna stop. Oh, I just want more. But I'm so sorry again. No, you're not. How would that be forgiven?
yeah.
Or even worse, I'm a preacher who then goes out and says like, "You're going to hell." Who are you to say that?
Kenneth
You
Copeland.
are not God.
You're Kenneth Copeland, bruh.
Yeah. Your gay is gone.
You're gay. Yeah, he's gonna spit on me.
God.
Be like,
Keep
Kenneth, you
your
better
disease
stop.
to yourself. That COVID-19 one was so good.
He better stop. I like.
COVID-19. And he spat everywhere.
Well, no, I like being spit on,
funny.
so it's like he better watch out. Better chill out.
He
bruh.
hot twat on that crowd.
You got a hot tootie on me.
Hot tooey. Is that what it is? Hot tooey.
Ooh, spit on that.
Oh my
You better
God.
spit on that thing. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway,
So you heard it here first. Kenneth Copeland sucks dick. It's
for the Lord. apparently.
I believe he is a public figure. I don't think we can be sued for saying that. So if we can be sued, it was.
If he sues me, he's getting zero.
It's a fictional character. Any correlation to a real person is simply coincidental.
Yeah, there you go.
Isn't that what you have to say?
Something like that.
So anyway,
You heard it here, folks. Kenneth Copeland sucks dick.
it's a fact.
Look at those are dick sucking eyes for sure.
Let's look at that dick sucking face. By the way, this is AI generated. Any correlation to a real life figure?
Nah, he's
Again, look at those lips. This guy has clearly wanted to.
Yeah,
I believe he grew up a latent homosexual.
He was. He's
closeted, and that's why he's so angry.
He's a loser.
Anyway, whatever, guys. Sorry if you disagree. That's fine. You can love this guy. That's fine. That's the beauty of America. We all get to believe what we want. We just can't tell other people what they have to believe, right? Isn't that kind of the crux of American society? Freedom. Freedom is the right to live your life with certain limits. You can't harm other people, but outside of that, live your life.
Live your life to your fullest.
Stop telling other people how to live theirs. Love thy neighbor.
Yep.
Don't fuck their wives. The Bible has very clear rules.
Unless they ask you to.
Yes.
It's different.
If thy neighbor asks thee to fuck thine wife, then do it, and praise the Lord Almighty.
There you go.
I believe that was John chapter 7.
John
I don't
8:14.
I love it when people just have like something like that, like Matthew 3:18, and that's all their bumper sticker says. I'm like, I don't know what that means.
I have to Google it.
Yeah, I would have to, and then it's like something I'm probably not going to like. I'm like, yeah.
It's like, that didn't make no sense.
Yeah. Get off mine ass.
Get off thy ass, please, and feed thy flock.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway,
guys.
you guys have a fucking awesome week.
Yeah. Happy Sunday. We're going to go golf later. I hope you guys are going to go do something that fills you with the spirit.
Yeah,
My church is the golf course, I think.
is.
I feel very connected to nature.
I really do, actually.
I feel all of the emotions.
One of my exercises today was you get this dumbbell and you have to twist. It's a very much so a
golf-oriented swing.
Oh yeah, it's exactly like you were swinging a club.
What weight did you use?
A 35-pound weight.
Holy shit, yeah.
So I'm gonna be hitting that ball like shit today.
You're going to be hitting 350-yard drives with your 7-iron. But
easy.
anyway.
No, I'm not. It's not easy. I hear you. Anyway, you guys.
Yeah.
Have
Oh, to all my teacher friends, we're getting close. Those of us, we're probably heading back into the classroom. So I hope everything's going well. You deserve the summer.
Yeah, it sucks. Summer's quick.
The summer went really fast, but I don't know. You start going into the classroom a little bit. You start getting in that headspace again. I'm ready. I'm ready to see those little.
All I know is
those little guys and gals. And
summer's been the same for
teach
me.
them some stuff.
It's not like anything changed. I still had to
did
work.
nothing that I wanted to. I wanted to take the kayaks out a lot. I wanted to go hiking. Wanted to go camping. Did not do any of it. It gets so goddamn hot during the
We were
summer.
actually supposed to be hiking today.
Yeah.
But
But we're not.
the wife got sick. She got the Rona. My buddy got the Rona.
Everyone has the Rona. I had the Rona.
I had it.
Corona.
I had my Sharona as well. I think I gave it to the wife and my friend Nick. So
And I think I gave it to you. So technically, I gave it to all of them, and I got it from someone else. And
damn,
so,
it's like an STD, man.
yep,
Crazy.
just without the fucking. That's how it works.
Didn't even get the fun.
Oh, by the way, one last thought: monkeypox. You heard about that?
Yeah.
Yikes! And it's apparently becoming more of an STD. It's going through sexual.
Who
groups.
is fucking monkeys?
That one weirdo?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's one of those things to distract
stuff.
us
Sad
from what's
stuff.
going on in the world. I feel like anytime election year comes up, there's some kind of like some distraction that like pulls us away from what's being said between the two people.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? I don't know. That's what I see usually. Alicia actually pointed that out.
Yeah.
With the other things, she's like, I feel like they're always trying to distract us. Like all of a sudden, like this is in the news or this is in the news. I'm like, right? Like it's always around this time of year.
News is a corporation. They need to make money, and how do you make money? You keep things interesting.
Yeah.
So they're always looking for an angle. They're always looking for. I
I can't even believe the news anymore with half the shit I've seen. So
Well, you have to think for yourself. You have to watch and know your core values and expose yourself to things, whether you agree with it or not. And you have to think critically. Does it make sense? Is it extreme or is it realistic?
who knows?
So, hey. But that's true to different people, different ways. So,
Alrighty.
anyway,
We'll
thank
hit
you
you
for
up.
listening. Thank you.
Mom and dad. I don't know.
The guy that gave the negative comment.
Oh yeah. Cooter 3000.
Cooter 3000,
Or
you're
Hoo-Ha
loved.
3000.
You are loved by Just Barely Blended.
You are.
Hopefully, more of our paid ads.
You know what? I'm gonna
themselves your way, and
I think I'm
to
gonna
love
pay
us
this
back.
this next podcast just so it comes to your way again.
This is dedicated
To Hoo Ha
In fact,
3000.
the entire 7th season of Just Really Blended
What
is
episode is it?
dedicated to Hoo Ha Cooter 3000. Season 7, episode 13. It's our 133rd episode.
Crazy.
Almost 3 years in. Those of you that have listened every week,
Thank you.
thank you. I know half the time you're like, why am I still listening to this? I think we got some good stuff.
I do.
Sometimes I don't remember what we talked about.
Oh, I never do.
Most of the time I don't remember what we talked about, but you know what? It's all good.
I have notes and I still don't know.
I don't even take notes anymore. I should, but I don't.
Anyway.
All right.
We'll
Peace out. Have a great week. Enjoy the fair if you have a fair out there.
Yeah, don't go broke.
Don't go broke. That's a hard thing to do with fairs. I don't know why they're so expensive, but there you go.
Avoid carnies.
Avoid carnies. They have monkeypox and
Chickenpox.
and chickenpox. All the poxes.
Smallpox.
Praise Jesus. Happy Sunday.
Later.
Later.
It's a pencil.